Well, this is an interesting comparison, isn't it? Battlefield 2042 versus Hell Let Loose. Now, when Hell Let Loose first sort of came on my radar on the PC, must be last year, I would have thought, and then I played it on my Shadow Cloud gaming PC, I struggled. I definitely struggled. I kind of had the expectation that Hell Let Loose could be, the Battlefield we were all kind of waiting for, but with keyboard controls and on my laptop, I never really got to terms with it and kind of played it a bit and thought, wow, this game looks absolutely fantastic, but I don't really know what's going on and I don't really know how to play it because I am really a controller type person. But Hell Let Loose has just been released on console, on Xbox Series S, Series X and PlayStation 5 a month before Battlefield 2042 comes out. But obviously we've got the Battlefield 2042 beta, so we can compare the two. And honestly, I think that Hell Let Loose is going to give Battlefield 2042 a run for its money. And the reason for that is that if we kind of think about what makes a great Battlefield game, Battlefield is all-out war, isn't it? On big maps where you've got great gunplay and you've got great vehicles and you've got aircraft and helicopters, where tactics make a real difference. Teamwork is important. It's really exciting. It's fun, and they tend to be very immersive as well. So if we think about that, well, Hell Let Loose is definitely all-out war. This is basically a milsim for World War II. It might not be quite Arma 3 levels, but it's the closest to a milsim we've had on console probably ever. The maps in Hell Let Loose are huge. Gunplay, great gunplay. You've got bolt-action rifles, semi-autos, everything from World War II. The only people who have telescopic sights are the snipers, and there are only 2 of those on each team. Great vehicles. I haven't really done that much with the vehicles in Hell Let Loose, but you have got Sherman tanks, you have got Panther tanks. They look great anyway, and they're quite tricky to use, so they're not overpowered. You can't jump a tank off a cliff like you can in Battlefield 2042. Tactics are everything in Hell Let Loose. And teamwork, well, you've got to be on comms, you've got to be talking. Exciting. It's an exciting game. Now, where Hell Let Loose isn't always fun is it has quite a steep learning curve, and you find yourself, until you really know what you're doing, running a lot and dying a lot without really figuring it out. However, it does have amazing immersion. This feels like you're playing in Saving Private Ryan in Hell Let Loose, and this is where Battlefield 2042, my impressions from the beta, from playing it, for a few hours, is it doesn't really tick all these boxes. Okay, so it is all-out war on a big map. The guns feel pretty good. They're very Battlefield 4, but they feel pretty good. The vehicles, the ground vehicles are okay, but the helicopters had great trouble trying to fly them. Tactics, I'm thinking that with these 100 and how many is it? 64 versus 64, is it? 128 player maps. Tactics are important, but there's people all over the place. And so even, with a squad, you're going to come up against a lot of enemies. And so it tends to be force of numbers that does it, and, spawning. Teamwork, you can teamwork. Excitement, it is an exciting game, Battlefield with Conquest, as the tickets tick down or tick up. Fun, definitely, I've had some fun with Battlefield 2042. Immersion, this is where Battlefield 2042 kind of leaves it for me. I don't think it's very immersive at all. And the reason for that is that Battlefield 2042 feels to me like a game that's been created in a level editor. The idea is that, someone's thrown together everything that should make Battlefield great. And we've thrown it in and said, there you go, that's Battlefield, go for it. And it's kind of lacking, say, someone, with a great artistic vision and drive to take the game where a Battlefield needs to be. It kind of feels, Battlefield 2042 feels too arcadey, It almost feels like it was made by a committee, and you'll probably hear this across quite a few of my videos when I'm describing Battlefield 2042. It ticks a lot of the boxes, but when you're playing it, you're like, well, to be honest, this doesn't look quite as good as Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1 or maybe even Battlefield 4. It doesn't look anywhere near as good as Hell Let Loose. I mean, Hell Let Loose looks amazing compared to this. And I feel like I'm running around maybe almost like in a large Call of Duty level, but I can't really say that, because when Call of Duty does very large levels, like we had in Ground War with Modern Warfare 2019, that felt better because the flags were linear and you had the front line pushing backwards and forwards. The big problem with Battlefield is when you kind of have these round robin maps where you just end up chasing the flags around, that can get it can start to feel a little bit pointless. And a little bit frustrating, and you start to just chase flags. And unless the game is really immersive and is drawing you in, that can definitely be a disadvantage. So, kind of to sum all this sort of stuff up for me, and it's still early days. I've only played the beta for about 3 or 4 hours now, but I'm kind of thinking that my Battlefield game for 2022. My Battlefield game is going to be Hell Let Loose. I'm really kind of thinking that, especially as I've enjoyed Call of Duty Vanguard, and I think Call of Duty Vanguard is going to be my my fast-paced, shooter running around. And I don't think I've got the time to spend in Battlefield 2042 to spend a lot of time with this game, learning it and running around with it. I think the payoff for me may well be with Hell Let Loose. Now, I haven't made any firm decisions on this yet, so I could well change my mind. And don't get me wrong, there's certain times in Battlefield 2042 where you get in these gunfights and you have a great gunfight with a squad of players, and you're like, oh yeah, that was really good fun. But they tend to be quite isolated, and it's even things like in Battlefield 1 you had the behemoths that would turn up, wouldn't you, like the Zeppelin, things that would take your breath away. In Battlefield 5 it was the V1s coming in Battlefield 4 it was like a dam collapsing or a building collapsing. All we've really seen in Battlefield 2042, remember this, I guess this is only one map, but we've just seen a tornado coming in, and we've seen a rocket going off or exploding, and I don't find that stuff that immersive. So, Hell Let Loose versus Battlefield 2042. I think maybe for a lot of Battlefield players who are interested in that slower, more tactical style of play, I think Hell Let Loose is going to win this one. And I think a lot of people are going to see Hell Let Loose gameplay. And if they've got an next-gen console, if they've got a PS5 or if they've got an Xbox Series S or Series X, they're going to be spending their money and their time. Because talking of money, Hell Let Loose is only £35. To buy Battlefield 2042 that doesn't have a campaign this time, you're looking, £60 to £70, for the cheap versions of it. So, I don't know, it's going to be interesting indeed. But as I say, I haven't completely made up my mind about what I'm going to be doing yet. But unless the beta really suddenly starts to grab me, the game I want to be spending more time in is Hell Let Loose. And I don't think that's Battlefield 2042. But anyway, what do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I will, of course, see you again soon.
Objective Delta 1 has been lost. Our forces fully control Foxtrot sector.